Welcome back to the Prison Architect How-To. I'm Jabber1008. In this episode, we're going to be covering how to fight contraband, prison policy, logistics, and advanced patrols. And this will be the last episode for now. I may cover more things and add episodes later to this how-to, but after this episode, you should have everything you need essentially to get going in your prison. There's a few things I haven't covered in this how-to and will not cover. There are things that you may want to look into yourself, but I just wanted to show mainly how to get a basic prison up and running with everything that you need for your prisoners, and then also how to keep it running smoothly. And this episode is going to be mainly about keeping it running smoothly. So the first thing we're going to cover is fighting contraband. Now, if we look at our intelligence, you can see what's been found. Now, there hasn't been much found, and I can promise you, since we haven't searched much, now we do only have 15 prisoners, but since we haven't searched much, I can guarantee there's probably more in this prison than just what's being shown. You can look at the last 24 hours, the last 7 days. As you can see, I think only one more thing pops up. Yeah. Now, one thing that we can do to help fight contraband is have informants. There's other ways to fight it too, and this shows your dangers, and you can use these to evaluate and guard against dangers. So, for example, I mentioned this earlier. As you can see here, you have poison, scissors, medicine, and both poison and medicine are smelly, and the scissors are metal. And then in the storage closet we have poison as well, and we know that's smelly. You can't see it, it kind of blends in, but we know it's smelly from up here. Now in the visitation room, stuff will be smuggled in. We'll get cigarettes which are smelly, narcotics which are smelly, booze, luxuries, and lighter. Now they don't say smelly or metallic. There's only a couple ways. You can get lucky. Sometimes stuff will trigger even though it's not smelly or metallic, and guards will search them. You get lucky like that. Or we'll use informants, and that's where informants come into play. They'll show you where stuff is in your prison, and you can go and search prisoners or cells or wherever you need to. The same thing up here. We look at our kitchen. This is another example. Metal, metal, metal. So knife, fork, spoon. Metal's the easiest thing to overcome. Well, metal objects. So to overcome the metal objects, as you can see, there's only two ways out of here. Both canteens. So we'll put metal detectors right at the entrances. Same here. Library will have scissors. Place metal detectors. Scissors in the infirmary. Metal detectors. Visitation. Metal detectors. I actually did that, and thinking back on it now, does that actually have anything metal? It doesn't, but it doesn't hurt to have more metal detectors. So that's one basic way of helping control it. Now, one other place where you get a lot of metal stuff. You can see dangers here. Now, you have jail keys, baton, cigs, lighter, all this stuff, guns, of course. Now, the thing with this stuff is hopefully you've kept it behind some solid security, and your prisoners should never be in here anyways. Now, they will be in your security room, but they'll be handcuffed as they're informing. So, as you can see, we have a supply over here too. And you see trade prices. So you have supply and demand, and we have a lot of supply of weapons, a lot of supply of tools, narcotics, luxuries. So we'll take care of that in a second with the last thing, and we'll call that the nuclear option. The last thing, I'll show that in a second. So that's stuff you don't have to worry about as much. But up here you can see we have problems because of both our offices, any office, not just the psychologist offices, but any offices. Forestry, you have salt, axe, and spade. We're not going to worry about that. Prisoners shouldn't be out there. If you have your deployment set right, which, again, it got knocked off wrong on ours. But if it's set right, prisoners won't go out there. But we do have saw, screwdriver, hammer, drill, shank, wooden pickaxe. Now, a wooden pickaxe is the only non-metallic object in our workshop, so those you'll just have to find by informants. But most of the stuff in there can be found by a metal detector. And this is actually why I drew or created this area like this. I put this wall here for a specific purpose, and that's to have a metal detector here, and all your prisoners in here will be funneled through this doorway. And if you choose to expand and kind of mirror this, put a workshop up here, you can do the same thing, make this one long hallway so they'll have two entrances, and you put a metal detector there, and they have to walk through it, so they try and bring anything out. One of the other main areas where metal objects can be brought in is your delivery area. You actually want to expand this. We did put exports in. Where's delivery? Deliveries, there we go. Now, for the delivery area, this is not the nuclear option I was talking about, but it's still pretty drastic, but I do it as soon as I have enough money. What we're going to do is line the whole delivery area with metal detectors. Now this might seem like overkill, but anything that's brought off a truck will have to go through a metal detector, and it will be detected. This gets it quick, gets it easy, and you'll save a lot of trouble. Your guards will be able to search it as soon as it comes off the truck, and that gives you time before any workers come or cooks come to pick up supplies. We're also going to place a couple here, just for double security. So we'll get those all placed, and your metal detectors do need to be hooked up to utilities. So those will all get hooked up, I think. I think all those are near power lines. The only one that might not be... Nope, that is too. So that's how we take care of all the metallic objects. The other problem you have is, of course, the smelly objects, and that's what our dogs do. Our dogs cover areas like the infirmary and visitation. The other place you want them, we could place them up here. I'm not too concerned about cigarettes. I think that's the only thing. There's nothing really dangerous. Right, cigarettes count as a luxury. Oh no, that actually counts narcotics too. I'm not worried about it. And booze, but you're not going to find it anyways. The only smelly thing here is the cigarettes, and I'm not too concerned about that. I mostly get concerned with weapons and hard drugs because prisoners can overdose, but they're not going to overdose on cigarettes. So you can see they're putting metal detectors in. So the other things that can come in through this way are smelly things as well. So for deployment, we are going to stick right here where trucks first come through. We're going to put a couple dogs here. And that'll catch any trucks that come through with the dogs, they'll smell stuff. And we're actually going to place another dog right here, and that'll cover where the trucks stop. And that just covers this whole area. We're actually going to place them up a little bit further. That'll cover anything smelly coming in through the prison entrance. And you know what? We have a lot of dogs committed, so I'm actually going to hire more dog handlers. So we'll get that all placed, and now we have our metal detectors placed, and we'll hopefully catch a lot of that stuff. Now, other than informants, which we don't have anybody in solitary right now, so the way you get informants is you'll look at prisoners in solitary, and if any of them want out early, you can turn them into an informant, and you actually go into your intelligence screen, go informants, and you'll see them pop up with a yellow circle. Unfortunately, I can't show that right now. We don't have anybody to do it, but we might have a way to get an informant. The way we're going to do that is the so-called nuclear option. Now, I call it nuclear option. It's not really that drastic. It's actually... I usually do it once every other night in my main prison. So it's not that crazy, but it's a shakedown. And this will search everything in your cell, in your prison, for contraband. Any object that can be searched will be searched. So your guards will actually go around and search all these areas. You know, we're going to actually hire 10 more guards. I usually do 25 for one of these big blocks, as I've mentioned before, but we're going to do 35 just to kind of cover this and search everything. Now you can see we have 396 places to search, and this will grow as your prison grows, of course. But they'll search everything and see. So we've already found a baton. That's something that won't be picked up by metal detectors. Another baton. That won't be picked up by dogs or metal detectors because it's wooden. So we're going to go through and find all this stuff, and we can actually speed this up. And they'll search all this stuff and see what they find. Now some weapons found, so 3 are awaiting solitary, and we'll see if anybody wants to get out of solitary quickly. We found some luxuries, so that's fine. Some cell phones, some booze. What else do we find? A wooden club. Again, another thing you really can't find other than by using informants. And this will pretty much get everything out of your prison. As you can see, if we look at intelligence, danger levels are going to go down here slowly. So you can see This stuff's slowly getting found out, and prices are going way up because we're taking most of it out of the prison. We're cutting the supply out. And I don't know if this stuff got searched. I don't know if it's possible. Huh. What is... Oh, those are the lights. What we're gonna do real quick, just because all those lights are there, and that's gonna become a problem. We're gonna build some storage. And you get storage inside or outside. We're gonna just do this real quickly. Just click the side peg, and that'll get all those lights out of there. I bet a fork was found. So all that stuff's been found. We have 6 prisoners waiting solitary, and they'll get slowly taken to solitary by the guards. Hopefully here soon. So as we watch informants, we might get lucky here. Come on. As you can see, it also made our danger levels rise, but that's okay. It'll do that when you do that because a lot of prisoners get unnecessarily searched. But if you want to get everything in your prison, you don't have any informants, that's the way you have to do it. Fortunately, why are these guys not been brought to solitary yet? Did I ever mark these off? Oh, you know what? I never marked these off as solitary. That would help. I can't believe I never did that. That's been sitting there like that for a few episodes now. So as you can see, our supply is all the way down. So like baton and club will pay. I guess those prisoners will pay for that stuff. That's something that's newer, I think. I haven't noticed that before. So they'll get placed in here. As they're in here for a while. Oh, here we go. So this is it. You go as a potential CI, and you go into their experience, you can recruit and form it. Now you can be kind of picky if you have enough guys in solitary and choose only the guys that have committed the least worst crimes. But those guys will now get instant release from solitary, and you can see up here they're now informants. And you can activate them, and they'll go to your security room, and the stuff will show up on the map. Objects will show up with an icon for what might be in there, or what is in there, and you can just search it. Now, the way this is set up, it doesn't just add the percentages. So you want to get to 100%, but 28 and 16 won't add up to, what I guess would that be, 34? It won't add up to 34. I'm sorry, 44. It won't add up to 44. It'll actually be kind of in the middle, because they might overlap. The way the game sees it, there will be some overlap between the two. So you'll need more. You can't just add up to 100. You'll need to kind of overkill it a little bit if you want to get to 100. As the game goes on, you have your informants for a while. They will actually slowly build up their coverage, and you'll get guys who will get 100 on their own. If they do 100 on their own, it's 100. You don't have to worry about the overlap then. So if they cover everything, they cover everything. Try and clear these deliveries out. All those light bulbs. So I'll tell you one of the ways you fight contraband. Now, as you do the contraband, the problem you're going to run into is you'll have a lot of guards on patrol, and you might want to do it a little bit more efficiently. So like, we don't want our dog at the visitation room, dog handler there all day. We only need it from 8 to 8 when visitation is open. You know, we don't need guards in the canteen all day. We just need them when prisoners are eating. So there's more efficient ways to cover that, and that is the advanced patrols. And the game doesn't call it that, but I call it that, because you have your basic patrols where you just send guards on patrols, but then you have your deployment scheduler down here. So what we'll do is we'll take our regime window, and we'll take our deployment scheduler, and as you can see, right now it's free time, and it shows up the white arrow. But from 11 to 4, our prisoners are sleeping. So we're going to make that our first deployment schedule. So from 11 to 4, we're going to click on this, and the red arrow is what you're setting it for. White is the current time, red is what we're setting it for. I don't need guards in my canteen, and I don't even want them in my main cell blocks. during this. I want my guards available to do things like shakedowns and stuff, and take care of a lot of stuff that needs to be taken care of while the prisoners are asleep in their cells. I do want to leave guards in here, though. I do leave 4, maybe more, in the yard, just in case anything does happen overnight. So we'll cancel that. We also don't need our dog there. We will leave the one in the infirmary because guys can be getting hurt in the middle of the night. So we will leave the one at the infirmary. That is a 24-hour day guard patrol. Same with the ones out here. So we now have all these cells. And I want to have guards search or patrol them, but not all the time. So we'll set these up. We'll set another one up in this canteen. We're actually going to have one go in the laundry cells there. Library and common room. And then chapel. Well, we'll have our dog right there. It's not a huge deal. And we'll have one go up in here and go to the well, actually, we'll have one specifically for the shop. So none of these are going to be going at night. The other place where we're going to want guards to patrol is the workshop. And we'll even have some patrol. I'll have one patrol this hallway here. Check on each of these rooms. And one other place where you are going to need a guard is if any prisoners get upset during parole. So as you can see, we already have a bunch of patrols planned, so we won't have enough guards to do all the things we need them to, and also patrol all the time. Now, they will be patrolling most of the day, but if you do this smart, you can kind of have your guards be used more efficiently. So at 5 in the morning, they have lockup, and that's when I first want my guards to be set. Now, we're going to leave this white. It goes up to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 when you click this. Oh no, actually it goes up to 7. I lied. But you can also do the white, which would give you 8. So at lockup, I want guards there, there, there. We all need one there. That'll be for the first free time. Actually, we might as well put one there because free time goes right after this. Oop. Put on the library. Now, it's also 5 a.m. so we don't have visitors yet, but parole starts at 6. So that'll be our next type of schedule. So we have our guards all there. Now when you set this up and you want to set up the blank, schedule. Anytime you place a guard on the blank schedule, it gets placed on every one of them. So go back to 1, wherever you don't want these guards placed, and just remove them. So now you'll have schedule 0 guards only. So 6 will be our next one. So we'll set this to 2. Now at 6 a.m. is when we have prisoners coming in, or parole meetings start. So for 6 a.m. we need to set a guard for the parole room. We also need guards in each of these areas that we have for free time. So we'll need to place one there now too. So that's free time. Still don't need any in the canteen. And you know, I forgot to add one up here. We're just going to do that. We won't have one during lockdown there, that's fine. I'm not that worried about it. So from 2 to 7, or from 6 to 7, we'll have the same thing. Now, at 8 is when we first start getting visitors. So at 8, we need our dog patrol. Right. So that's what happens at 8. Oh no, I set that up on 2. 8, we need our dog. There we go. And then we'll also have to go through, and this kind of sucks, but it is the way you have to do it. We gotta place them each. This is free time. And you can't place guards on spots where you've already placed guards for other times, which is another kind of drawback with this. But, so that's why it's not, even though I'm clicking, it's not placing them, because I'm placing them in the same spots. And we'll need the parole one, of course. That'll be going till 10 at night, so we'll need that up until the end of the day. The parole one. Oh, and it's free time, so we need one there. So that'll go until 9. And then 10 is when we have our first meal of the day. So all your guards can leave all their patrols except for your dog down here, and your parole guard up here. Then all you need is a couple guards and your canteens. Now you'll have to repeat this as you go along for each cell block that you build, but you know, just build it as you go and you build it up, and you'll just have to repeat it those times. So that's 10 and 11, and 12 is your first work period. So 12 is going to be a new setup, and we'll have to repeat this again. Guard, 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 and this counts as free time guard. This will be a little bit longer video, my timer's already going off. Oh, come on. Guard. 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 And actually, at this time, we're actually going to want guard up in here too, because work. And like I said, it's free time and work, so you need to cover all the free time bases. And we'll need our dog patrol down here. And then the one big thing that needs to be added is our classroom and psychology offices, and then our workshop. And since we have expensive stuff in our workshop, we're actually going to add an arm guard there. One other thing, we're going to hop back here real quick. I do want the rest of my arm guards kind of placed in here all the time, so I know where they're at. So 12, 1, 2, and we go back to free time. So this is what's kind of nice, is once you have these set up with the numbers, you can just use the numbers to set it up for the times. So this is back to free time. So, oh, it's also the 8, 9 because of the visitation and parole. So when I go 3, we go back to work, which is 5 again, and then 7 is free time again, but all that stuff's still here. So we go back to 3. No, wait. I'm wrong. No, wait. What's 4? Okay, 4 is the next one. See, I'm even getting confused. It gets a little complicated, but 4 and then 10 o'clock is free time. But it's like early in the day free time. There's no visitors at 10, but there's still parole going on. So that'll be at 2. So that's how you set up your complicated paroles. So they'll all fill this out, and they're filling out for the time. So they're going to be at level. They're going to be at 3, and as you can see, they're filling out all the stuff that happens at 3. And then they'll slowly, you know, when they first eat, they'll go to the canteen, and you have your guards where you need them. And that frees up guards for different times of the day to cover different things. As you can see, we're still hitting our limit. I think it's because of all the extra security and stuff. And you can actually set guards to patrol out here and be stationed in different areas, but that mainly kind of covers it. So that's our more advanced patrols. This is a long episode, I know, but we're going to cover 2 more things. It's logistics and prison policy. Logistics. This is your canteens and which prisons go to which canteens. So these actually seem like they're alright already. I don't know why each of these solitary cells is going in individually, but it looks like everything else is set up okay. You'll need somebody to cover the holding cell too, so that canteen will do it, but you can just draw if you want, you know, like if we wanted these cells here to go to this canteen, we could just do that, but we actually want them to go there. Sometimes stuff will get a little funky on its own, but this looks like it's doing it alright. As you build more blocks, sometimes like the cell block up here will actually go to that canteen because it's closer. The other one we have is laundry distribution. Now, again, we only have 1 cell block, but essentially you want laundry going to each cell, and you also want it to go into your reception, and solitary as well, and then your holding cell. I don't know what's going on with this solitary down here. I don't know why it's seeing these all separately. It shouldn't be doing that. I don't know why. It should do like these and just be one big deployment thing, but it's not. I don't know why it's doing it that way, but it is. Whatever. So that's our logistics. It's real quick. Logistics. Oh, this is also where you do prison labor. The other thing you can do in here is room quality. So you can add objects to your room. So you can see, like, I have some prisoners who are level 10, so they really should have a 10 grade. And you can see if you add like a room at least 6 squares, a room at least 9 squares, a room at least 16 squares, you know, as you do things like that, these grades will go up. So right now my rooms are all worth 2. So if I added these things or add objects or made them bigger, they be better, and better graded prisoners will go to better rated rooms, and then they'll have that incentive to not misbehave. I don't really do it. I haven't noticed a big difference. I can usually keep my prisoners calm without it. It gets to be kind of a pain with my normal design, so just be aware of that. With my design, it doesn't really leave a whole lot of room to expand cells and stuff. You can hit, I think, like a 7 or 8 without making it bigger, though you need an outdoor window. So yeah, all my cells could be hit a 7 if you really wanted to, though you might not be able to fit all these objects in later, or either, I mean. So yeah, so they definitely have a limit, so you might need to build bigger cells if you really want that. The one last thing is prison policy. I've gone into this a little bit, but this is for when you want to search prisoners. If they misbehave, like if they escape, you can search them in their cell for any tools. If they attack staff, you can search their cell for weapons, and search them for weapons. Same with serious injury, intoxication, I don't give a shit about. Attack prisoner, search the cell. Destruction, search their cell. Intoxication, don't care. Found weapons, search their cell. Found tools, search their cell. Drugs, search their cell. Luxuries, I don't care. Now there's two other things you can set in here. You can also set whether they get locked down or solitary. Like intoxication, you don't need solitary, you just need lockdown. And you can do longer, so if they attack staff, they can get real big punishment being solitary for longer. I usually make these longer and change these up as well in the searches. The other thing you want to do is, if you have the money, set the meal quantity and meal variety of both to high, so they'll get more food and get more variety of it, and that'll keep them happier, make them more likely to be well fed. And the last thing is the parole cutoff, and this goes into the grading that I was talking about earlier. When you have a prisoner, if their reoffending rate is 33% or lower, they get paroled. You can set this higher so they're all getting paroled, or set it lower so like hardly anybody gets paroled. It's up to you. I usually leave it at the default. It works fine. I don't have too many prisoners that reoffend. The rate's usually a lot lower. When I get my prison up and running, most of them are hitting lower reoffending rates anyways, so it hasn't really been an issue for me. So that's mainly how you finish up your prison, get it running smoothly. We now have more advanced patrols, more efficient use of our guards. We've covered contraband and how to keep weapons and drugs out of your prison, and we've also covered prison policy, punishments to kind of deter prisoners. Oh, and also logistics. We did cover logistics as well, and which rooms will feed or wash which clothes, and obviously the grading for rooms, which again I don't use. It's another way you can incentivize the prisoners into behaving, but I haven't really cared too much about it. So that's pretty much it. I may add more episodes later, but this is the last episode of the Prison Architect How-To. I know this one went a little long. Like I said, I may cover more stuff later as it comes up. Keep an eye out. I do plan to do a start from scratch prison the real way, not with unlimited funds or anything like that, and show everyone how I would build a prison, starting out with just the 30,000 you get in cash and slowly building it from there. Just because of the way you have to build that, I can't do it in a how-to format easily, and that's why I did this way. But keep an eye out. I will show how I do it more naturally instead of having those unlimited funds and just going crazy and building everything out right away. So I'm Jabber1008. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for that Prison Architect from scratch series, and thanks for watching this series, and again keep an eye out. I may have more episodes for this series as well. So thanks again.